Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Beautiful creatures of the internet. I'm Mango Jones. Yeah, I'm doing a nighttime stream. Because nighttime stream. I don't know. So in the description, like always, there's, the resources for anyone and everyone. There's like donation thingies. There's the Ukraine charity links still down there. Yeah, the usual stuff. Kanye West has been like fucking everywhere. So we're gonna talk about Kanye. Because fuck Kanye. Hey Gavin. Hey Hian. Nice to see y'all on this lovely night. But yeah. So I'm gonna give people a minute to get in here. I'm gonna say hi to everyone, I'm so tired of seeing Kanye. Kanye. Also, I've probably read his name like 30 million times within the last few days doing all this research. So this is definitely not going to be a one-parter. There's going to be a second part because there's no way in hell I can get through all of this in one go. Like, I just can't. Oh, hey, Ben. How are you? Hey, Seth. So, Kanye's been everywhere, multiple brands have been dropping him. He's had questionable interviews, even more questionable Twitter and Instagram posts, and mysterious, like, private academy that really just makes no sense. Oh, hey, Sarah. Nice to see you. And, like, his sudden foray into anti-Semitism, like, really isn't too much of a surprise at this point. Because, like, he's gradually been expressing a combination of Christian nationalism, which is like far-right rhetoric that masks reactionary actions with the veneer of religion, and radical Hebrew Israelite views publicly for like years now. Hey, sweet potato pie. But like, we're going to start with this all the way back in 2018 because it goes back a while. So April 21st, 2018, Kanye tweeted out, "I love the way Canada thinks." And from there, it has been a storm of right-wing rhetoric that's been ridiculous. On May 1st, he did an interview with Charlemagne the God, or at least it was released on May 1st. And in this interview, he addressed how fire having a mental breakdown/breakthrough is, and how the concept of racism is something we're in now, something of the past, and something we can break through in the future, and how white publications use the word rapper as a derogatory, and he felt that he was letting Black people down while in the hospital for his mental health issues. He also expressed his love of Trump, because Trump. The same day that interview was released, he went to TMZ and hung out in their newsroom. And this happened.
How many people felt something that I said today? Raise a hand if you felt something that I said today. Do you feel that do you feel that I'm being free and I'm thinking free?
Yes.
I don't think you're thinking anything. I think what you're doing right now is actually asking stuff. And the reason why I feel like that is because, Kanye, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to believe whatever you want. But there is fact and real world, real life consequence behind everything that you just said. And while you are making music and being an artist and living the life that you've earned by being a genius, the rest of us in society have to deal with these threats to our lives. We have to deal with the marginalization that has come from the 400 years of slavery that you said for our people was a choice. Every day we have to walk into that truth while you choose to say things that, to be honest with you, dog, are nonsensical. You want to think freely? That's fine. I'll combat your free thought with my free thought because mine is grounded in a reality that I've been given and a reality that I'm going to change, but I'm not going to do it by pretending that the enemies are on the same team as me. And frankly, I'm disappointed, I'm appalled, and brother, I am unbelievably hurt by the fact that you have morphed into something, to me, that's not real. That's the way I feel. Stand on all the coffee tables you want to stand on, say whatever you want to say, but don't throw a stone, then hide your hand like the rest of us are just going to swallow it. Yay, be yay, I'm off it forever. Do you, but remember, the life that I live is as a real person, an actual person.
Now, the thing is, he said something, he said, grounded in reality. This reality has been forced upon us. It is a choice. Just like when I said slavery is a choice. The reality, we can make our own reality. We can talk about history, but not too long. We need to talk about our now because we can fix and start loving each other now. I say we have no enemies. We don't have enemies. Black people have a tendency to focus and march when a white person kills a black person or wears a hat. But when it's 700 kids being killed in Chicago, it's okay. It's okay for blacks to kill blacks. But if it's a white thing,
I don't think anybody's saying that's okay.
That's no, wait.
There's been more focus and more marches.
That is a lie.
About
don't
whites
believe that.
killing blacks than kids in Chicago killing each other.
That's a lie. There are black people working.
There are no marches.
90% of black people getting killed are killed by other blacks.
That's a fact.
The black homicide rate is a fact.
That is a fact.
Black on black crime is a fact.
But there are black people.
Okay, now this is a problem. We have to. You're too far. You have to be closer to me.
I'm here right now. There are black people working every single day.
Don't scream because it will make us look crazy.
I don't care how we looking for this. You're talking some.
No, when you scream, and you don't talk, it doesn't look right.
Let me just say something.
Let me impart this upon you.
Okay, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about because these are two different versions of somebody else's truth. This is two different versions of somebody else's truth. So he gets up and he's talking slavery, right? Okay, I'm not enslaved, so that it's like I don't mean to insult his reality.
No, Kanye, come on over.
I just want to give him a hug.
right. Like I don't mean to.
No. I think he might want to fight me, but I want to give him a hug.
Okay, but
Kanye, let's finish conversation.
What Kanye
I love you, and I want to give you a hug. I feel like you want to fight me right now, but I love you.
I don't fight with my fist, man. I've been through that. This is what I'm saying.
So if I come over there, you're not gonna fight me?
No, I'm not gonna hit Kanye West and TMZ. Bro, you got to be responsible, man.
Bro, I'm sorry I hurt you.
You got to be responsible.
I'm sorry I hurt you, bro.
Your voice is too big.
I'm sorry I hurt you, bro. I love you, bro. I'm sorry I hurt you with my words, bro. I love you, bro. Bro,
you got to be responsible.
I didn't mean to say things that hurt you. I didn't mean to wear the hat out the blue and shock so many people and not give them a way out of the pain. I understand that gave them pain, that made them see pain. But guess what? When I went into the hospital, we're now in the hospital. TMZ is the hospital to fix the world. Obama.
Bro?
Yeah.
That jump cut right there is actually confirmed by that TMZ staffer Van just a few weeks ago. And I do have that for like part 2. That right before that, Van brought up to Kanye Hitler. And Kanye confirmed how much he loved Hitler. So that was a thing.
Yeah.
That's not true. Listen, first of all, calmly.
What's your name, though?
It's not true.
I'm sorry for disappointing you, Van.
So anyway, yeah, that was a thing that happened. After that, Kanye tried to clarify his slavery comments on Twitter. Don't stop it. There we go. And in that, he said that he knows that slaves did not get shackled and put on a boat by free will. And then he compared himself to Willie Lynch, who was a slave owner who was said to have delivered a speech about controlling black slaves by setting them against each other. Historians doubt that that speech was ever made, but like that is what his legacy is, according to historians. So there's that. And even though he tried to make those clarifications, a petition was set up by Q2 calling for Adidas to drop Kanye because of his comments about slavery. And in response to that, Kanye got the support of one of the worst people he could probably get support from, Paul Joseph Watson. I have that screenshot. Where is it? I'll just pull it up on Twitter. I have those. Hold on. Got that. There we go. But yeah. Paul Joseph Watson supporting Kanye, and along with Paul Joseph Watson's support, who, you know, he's for InfoWars. He's the editor of InfoWars. Kanye also got the attention of other right-wing, like, micro celebrities, like Scott Adams, the Dilbert cartoonist turned Trump sycophant, who predicted that in 2040 there will be a religion war and the smartest man on the earth will muck duck all the Muslims by building a wall around them. That's a whole thing in and of itself. And then Charlie Kirk, who founded Turning Point USA, which is where Candace Owen works. He also loves Kanye, and Kanye gave him shoes. That was the entire thing that happened as well. And in response to the petition and everything like that, the CEO, he actually put out statements to Bloomberg. I had them downloaded, but of course it's not working right now. I love when that works. I'm sorry that everything is just not working today. Of course. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I don't know.
Pretty much the party line at this stage. That's pretty.
Aha.
You know, we neither comment nor speculate on every single comment that our external creators, are making. Kanye has been and is a very important part of our strategy, and has been a, fantastic creator. And that's where I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to comment on every comment that he or somebody else are making. And that's where, that's pretty much the party line at this stage.
Casper, I'm sorry. I just want to carry on the conversation though for a moment. You don't break out what the relationship is worth, what the Yeezy brand is worth to you. Can you do that for us to give an idea, to give investors an idea of how important what is being said by Kanye is to your business? Could you give us those numbers? Have you had any conversations with him or his team in the last 24 hours? This is something that from his end of the conversation, he makes it very clear that this is an important and very profitable business from Adidas's point of view. Can you give us some numbers and kind of talk to investors a little bit about how important it is?
So if you look upon our overall numbers, last year we did almost $25 billion. We're a very large company. And Kanye, the Yeezy, is a very important part for our brand. from a revenue standpoint, less so, but it's a very important, part of how we promote our products, particularly in the US and other parts of the world. At the same time, our Adidas brand grew the last quarter in the US, 23%. We're growing 11% in the Adidas brand. So while Kanye is a very important part of the Adidas brand, Adidas is a large global company that with a very, very strong presence around the world and will continue to perform well.
So basically, they're just not going to do anything about Kanye and the weird things that he had said back in 2018, which is fine, I guess, but is what it is. Candace Owens, after all of this, became like an unofficial part of Kanye's like group, his team. So on May 31st, she was actually spotted at his record release and listening party in Wyoming. And then like Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens, anytime they did any sort of interviews or anything, they could not help but to bring up the fact that they were friends with Kanye, that they knew Kanye, Kanye that. And Candace Owens ended up falling out of Kanye's good graces in October of that year, because what she did was she started this campaign called Blexit. And Blexit was a movement to convince Black voters to leave the Democratic Party and vote Republican. You do what you want, that's fine. But she publicly claimed that Kanye made the design for the Blexit campaign. And he did not. So upon hearing this, Kanye ended up tweeting that, let's see, where is it? I know I have it. Because it's not, he deleted it, so you know. Aha. I introduced Candace to the person who made the logo, and they didn't want their name on it, so she used mine. I never wanted any association with Blexit. I have nothing to do with it. My eyes are now wide open, and now realize I've been used to spread messages I don't believe in. I am distancing myself from politics and completely focused on being creative. So Kanye steps back from politics. He starts focusing on his music. He starts focusing on his family. All good things. We do that. And so for 2019, we're just going to like go over some highlights and stuff. Kanye started out his Sunday service on January 6th. What are you? Come here. Close. Okay. On February 24th, we were introduced to the glory that is the red hair Kanye meme. Look at him go. He's into it. He's feeling it. Go Kanye. On September 9th, Kanye purchased the massive Wyoming ranch that he currently bounces between keeping on and off the market, depending on Kim Kardashian's relationship status. And then October 17th, oh, come here. Kanye's pastor actually did an interview on the Apologia channel.
Church back in mid-May, and after he had visited 2 or 3 times, he stands at the back of the church. He wants to talk to the pastor, and
Hang
so I'm
on.
like,
"Oh my God, stop it!" Aha! I'm just having all the technical difficulties. I'm sorry.
"Hey man, my name's Adam. What's your name?" He's like, "My name's Kanye." I'm like, "Hey bro, it's great to meet you. I heard that you've been visiting some. I haven't seen you. I'm glad that you hung out today so we could talk." He said, "Pastor, I got to talk to you for a minute." I'm like, "Yeah, man, what's up?" He said, about 5 weeks ago, I got radically saved. And I'm like, hey, man, what does that mean? What do you mean you got radically saved? And he just started telling me a little bit of his testimony. And, it basically went something like he was raised knowing that God existed. He was told about Christ, that his dad was a Christian counselor, that he had been in church, and then he'd been running from God, and he made it big in the industry and as a African-American rapper and just all the popularity and all the fame. He just started chasing all the things of this world. But he said that basically he just felt so a weight of sin, and the guilt of sin brought him down low. And he would say, the devil basically just brought him to a place where he just felt like he was in bondage to his sin. And so he said, I got delivered. So when you hear stuff like that, you want to verify that. So I'm like, hey, man, I'd like to talk to you. What do you mean about that? And so he had to go. He said, hey, man, I'm going to go do Sunday service that Sunday afternoon in Calabasas, which is a suburb of LA. At the time, they were doing a Sunday service just for his family and some close friends. And I didn't really even know what he was talking about. But we scheduled an appointment. And so a couple of weeks later, he came in for like 3 hours. And so at that particular meeting is when I had a little bit better confidence and at least seeing God at work in him, as I just talked about all these doctrines we're talking about right now.
Right.
Just open up the Bible to the Roman road and open up to Ephesians 2:8-9 and John 14:6 and John 3:16 and just talk about it verse by verse and explain it and talk about it. What do you think, Kanye? Is this what you're saying? What do you believe this verse means? Do you see this truth? Do you understand what the Bible teaches about this? And he's like, bro, why are you going through all this? I told you I got radically. Right.
So he is radically saved now. He's letting people know that, he's big into religion. He's constantly doing things like telling Kim that, like, he doesn't like the way that she dresses provocatively. He's made this whole big change in who he is and what his personality is. Which, it's fine if you're saved. It's fine if you do all that, but it's the route that he went after being saved that causes the issue. So on October 25th, his Jesus is King album is released, marking the first and only Kanye album that is able to be listened to by married Thugger daughters. That was a thing that happened. Don't ask me. I'm just reporting it. February 2nd of 2020 was the first appearance of his Sunday school choir, or his Sunday service choir. March 2nd, the Yeezy Season 8, his fashion line began. I'm estimating sooner than I want. Possibly. I do have some stuff that does very much give off cult, if you will. Okay, so on July 4th, Kanye announced on his Twitter, as you do, that he is... Oh, no, come here. That he is running for president. And he actually, hadn't filled out any paperwork or anything like that. And then he had his first political rally in South Carolina on July 25th. And here's a couple highlights from that.
I'm not trying to quiet your voices, actually. So I don't want to say that in an improper way. I just haven't had the time to word it in the most elegant way possible. So that's a Stephen move. When Harriet Tubman never actually freed the slaves. She just had the slaves go work for other white people.
Y'all, we leaving right now.
She said she was pregnant, and for 1 month, and 2 months, and 3 months, we talked about her not having this child. She had the pills in her hand. Do people know these pills where you take the pills, and if you take it, it's a wrap. The baby's gone. So I was sitting up in Paris, and I have my leather pants on. You already know if you got leather pants on, you already know who this person must think they are. Right? And I'm in the apartment where my wife was actually robbed. And I have my laptop up and I got all of my creative ideas. I got my shoes, I got my sound cover, I got communities, I got clothes, I got all this. And the screen was black and white. And God said, if you fuck with my vision, I'm gonna fuck with yours. And I called my wife. And she said, we're gonna have this baby. My mom saved my life. My dad wanted to abort me. My mom saved my life. There would have been no Kanye West because my dad was too busy. We love you, Kanye. Abortion should be legal, but the option of maximum increase should be available. Maximum increase would be everybody that has a baby gets $1 million or something in that.
Yeah, I'm just
So those are his thoughts. Kim actually didn't know that he was going to bring up the whole abortion thing, so he had to apologize to her. You're right, Shanny for life. Also, welcome. That did not make him look mentally stable. His apology also does not make him look mentally stable. And of course, this is all in 2020. This was 2 years ago. Of course he didn't. He never thinks it through. Have you seen him? He's Kanye. So the rally happened. Following the rally, he ended up tweeting out that he had a vision for Jesus Talk on August 17th. Yeah, no. Yes, I know that he is yay now. It's, yeah. But yes. He does not like the content of TikTok, but he loves the technology. So Jesus Talk. And he's going to pray that he can elaborate with them for the children and the world in Jesus' name. Because he's on a religious streak starting then, you know? Like a worse religious streak. Let's just put it that way. On September 2nd, he ended up trying to fight the Wisconsin Election Commission. I have that paperwork right here, because they would not put him on the ballot in Wisconsin. So he filed legal action against them. That didn't go anywhere. It still wasn't on the ballot in Wisconsin. So sorry, yay. Yeah. And then after he tried to fight them, he started posting about the Yeezy Christian Academy. This was the first time that he had started mentioning starting a school. And he had a few posts about it. Posted merch. His daughter was involved in it at the skate park with one of the teachers. There was an incredibly creepy commercial that he put out for it as well on Instagram. I don't know why I didn't have that pulled up.
Dear future, I still believe in you. 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 We still believe in you. We still believe in you. We believe in our families. We believe in our families. Our future we will heal. Our future has homes for everyone. Our future has food for everyone. Our future has food for everyone. Our future has love. Jesus loves everyone. Jesus loves everyone. Jesus loves everyone. Let's lead with love. Our future is waiting on us. Dear future, I still believe in you. Dear future, I still.
So yeah, he put out that creepy ass commercial. Because who doesn't want to send their kid to a school where that's the commercial, right? Right? So, following all of this, Kanye ended up conceding the election on election day by tweeting out "Welp" and Kanye 2024. That actually would be the last tweet that he would send out until October of this year, oddly enough. So that brings us into 2021. And that's when shit started to get like really fucky. So in February 2021, Kim Kardashian finally files for divorce. Good on you, do you. So very proud of you. Go Kim. The Yeezy Gap collection finally dropped after a whole bunch of delays and issues. In March of 2021, the articles, or no, the articles of incorporation were submitted for the Sunday service so that they could try and achieve the 501c3 status, the nonprofit status, which, as you can see, here it is. In June of 2021, the first corporate statement of information was submitted for Sunday service. So it's officially, a proper business according to the state of California. That's all good. Throughout the year, he would do various interviews where he would mention wanting to do a school. He wanted to start up some sort of education thing, and nothing really came of that until September. And on September, quietly announced was his school, Donda Academy. And the Donda's Place Twitter tweeted it out. Because he was on his Donda spree. He had done the album, he had done tours, he had done stuff like that. And this was the announcement. Along with that announcement was the launch of the first website for Donda Academy. At the time, not much of anything was really known about it, like at all. And this is what the original website actually looked like. No information. None. Nothing. Like that at all. Very bland. So what ended up happening was, after that announcement was put out, MTV News would do a segment a day later that was about 4 minutes long, in which they talked about how it was going to be a tuition-free school for grades K through 12. And that was it. That was all that we knew. It's a very tricky thing to try and do micro raptor, and I'll explain why in a little while. So, September 21st, 2021, the Simi Valley Acorn publishes an article with a potential location for Kanye's private school, And according to the article, a permit for a change of occupancy was granted to Kanye West on August 30th for the former Stone Ridge Valley Preparatory School, which is currently the publicly listed address for the school, which is in Simi Valley. Upon further inspection, because of course I looked into it, the initial business license for the school was filed on August 20th, 2021. It's the very first. And the Calabasas residence that's listed, that is the location of Sunday service. This is a publicly known address. This is all public information. So just throwing that out there. But yes, the initial business license was filed on August 25th, 2021. And once he got the permit for that building, the first statement of information was filed on August 30th. So outside of publications about high school basketball, like nothing else was really known publicly about the school. We knew that Kanye was recruiting people from all over the country to play for his school, to be a part of their team, the Don Doves. Major was really going on until November 8th, when a statement that was released by a California judge, because Kanye's companies Yeezy and Yeezy Clothing LLC were involved in a lawsuit, and Kanye ended up having to pay out $950,000 because in the state of California, when you run an online business of any kind, when people place orders, you have 30 days to send those orders out. You have 30 days to fulfill. His company was not doing that. Yeezy and Yeezy Clothing were not following the law. So they got sued and they lost. So, not too long after that, Kanye ended up getting sued by one of his former employees. Carmen Tavares Vargas filed a disability discrimination lawsuit against Yeezy on December 6th, 2021. And that case is actually still ongoing. Then you have December 21st, Kanye's Sunday school actually did receive their 501c3 status. Nope, not you. Go back. Go back. Nope, not you either. Aha. Ha. Yeah, there it is. Ta-da. They received their 501c3 status. And then on December 28th, Kanye bought a house directly across the street from Kim Kardashian for $4.5 million, which is like, I think they said it was about $46,000 over asking that he bought it for. So, yeah, Kim divorces him. He moves in across the street. Fun stuff. Now, the stuff for this year, it's going to be really lengthy, which is why we're going to cut this into two parts. There's going to be a lot of stuff that I'm going to explain. So let's get into it, shall we? So Kanye puts out this video on January 15th.
Wishing my daughter a public happy birthday. I wasn't allowed to know where her party was. There's nothing legal. They're saying that these are the kind of games that's being played. At the light, it's the kind of thing that really has affected my health for the longest. And I'm just not playing. I'm taking control of my narrative this year. I'm being the father, the best father, the yay version of a father. And I'm not finna let this happen. And we're gonna be in real time. Take a slight right turn onto I-405 right here. North. Chicago, happy birthday. I love you. And I'm just putting this online because I need y'all support. I didn't call Kim, texted nannies. I got on the phone with Tristan. He said, he asked Chloe, won't nobody give me the address to my daughter's birthday party right now? And that's going to imprint in her mind that I wasn't there for her. You get what I'm saying? Like, I was supposed to be in Miami recording my album. My whole schedule is all based around me being able to take my kids to school, me being there for them, making sure that I'm in their life. That's the whole point of having money. They take so many fathers just throughout America. They've been taking the fathers out the homes purposely. So I'm speaking up. I'm using my voice to say, this ain't going to keep happening. This narrative is not going to happen. It's a lot of people that's not in a position where they ain't got no voice when people be playing games like this. Baby mamas be playing games. The grandmama be playing games like this. And it's like, as y'all know, they ain't finna play like that with me.
So he put out that video, and he was later seen that day at Chicago's birthday party. The problem with that was he was never denied the chance to go to Chicago's birthday party. He was never told that he couldn't go. He was never not given the address. Apparently, when he first got in touch with someone about wanting to be at the party, he was immediately given the address and was like, yeah, come on over. It's your child. It's their birthday. But everyone's under the impression that he had wanted to do a separate celebration because he said that he wanted to do a separate celebration. Make it make sense, because I don't get it. No one gets it, I'm sure. So Kanye's doing all of that, fucking with Kim when it comes to the kids. And we finally get more information about the school. So this cover story comes out for Slam. Now, Slam is a basketball-focused publication, and the cover story was on Kanye's school and the Donda Doves basketball team. In this article, what we learn is that all members of the team were either contacted directly by Kanye or by a member of his team. All of them are from all over the U.S. They're top prospects. They are highly ranked. They all have colleges like knocking at their door trying to get them to sign. We learned that Shayla Scott is the vice principal and athletic director of Donda Academy. And she said about the way that the non-traditional way the team operates is, quote, I always think I got Donda looking down on me. I got to make this right. That's one thing that we're constantly thinking about. How can we do things in a way that is beneficial to who we are and what we have going on? And that might not mean it's traditional. Okay, non-traditional schooling, we can get behind. The Academy program has a lower program that serves ages 3 through 8th grade and has in-person classes, while the team itself has classes that are powered by K-12 Private Academy and NCAA-approved online curriculum. The players apparently all live together in luxury apartments with chaperones. So their parents are home. They're in LA in luxury apartments with chaperones. Daily workouts, which occasionally involve weight training, start as early as 8 a.m. Classes start at 9 or 10, depending on the day. When they travel for games, academic support staff travels with them. Kanye's private chef cooks for them. Practice is from 1 to 3 with additional workouts after, but the gym is about a 10-minute walk from the apartments, so it's pretty much available anytime they need. Okay. It weird to me that they're put up in luxury apartments and have chaperones. Yeah. They're teenagers. Like it's all odd. But I digress. So February 1st, Donda's Place puts out an announcement that they signed on a member to join something called Donda Sports. They had signed on Antonio Brown. And Antonio Brown is a former NFL Pro Bowl player and Super Bowl champion. And the new enterprise in the Donda brand, as stated by the release, is a limitless organization centered on professional and wellness support in equal measure, with the ambition to work with athletes across all genders, divisions, and sports. No clue what that means. And it also encompasses athlete representation. Yeah. So that's what they did. And then when that announcement came out, what they also did was they launched a new website, which is the Donda Sports website. And the Donda Sports website is very bare bones. It's extremely bare bones. This is it. You've got the rotating Donda Dove. You have the date. When I first found this website, the update thing actually didn't work. But if you click on it, it wants you to like send a message, like a text message, and join like the text updates. Don't do that. A shop, which sells overly expensive clothing. And it's all sold out, of course. And initially when I found the site, the terms and conditions were very short and they didn't say anything. Like the terms and conditions were word salad. They have since updated the terms and conditions. So now they actually have terms. See, now you can scroll. You used to not be able to. So very proud of them for finally fixing that. So Antonio Brown, who is now part of the Donda Sports brand, he ended up sending out a Instagram post where he announced that he had bought the Donda, the owner's suites for the Super Bowl game. So caption says, "We the owners now. Donda is about ownership, empowerment, and discovering the next superheroes. This is for the people who counted us out, for everyone who said we can't, we say we will. As president, it was important to me to book the Donda suite for this year's Super Bowl. This is a game meant to be watched together. This is the love and unity we need to push. This is for the kids, our next generation. We will be hosting community events this weekend and inviting kids with their families to the game. Let's give people the Donda experience. It's a family affair." That sounds great and wonderful, but when they were supposed to like do the family stuff, it was by invitation only at a secret location. That doesn't make any sense to me. It was supposed to be like a community thing. Why is it secret? Why does no one know? I don't understand. But and actually we're pretty certain that they didn't invite like any families or anyone, people that they were like already friends with to this Super Bowl event, because when Antonio Brown posted on the 19th and like dumped a whole bunch of pictures from the Super Bowl, there were Northwest and Chicago. No one else. It was all like they're rich buddies and hot women. So that's cool. February 19th, the District, which is a gym that is in Los Angeles, they posted this picture congratulating Frank Robinson and the Donda Doves for their 20th win. Now, this is the first time that we are actually introduced to who the coach is for the Donda Doves, because they have been so secretive and so private about what's going on with the school and what's going on with the organization as a whole. So Frank Robinson, he has 10 years professional basketball experience after having played for East Carolina University and California State University Fullerton. He co-founded the District Foundation, which runs District Gym and Field House, where the Donda Doves were training out of for the season. So, hey, we learned something new. February 21st, it was reported that Kanye West got himself banned from Saturday Night Live. So, as we know, Kim Kardashian had started dating Pete Davidson, and Kanye did not like that, and that caused Pete to be the target and onslaught of social media tirades, constantly referring to him as Skeet, and Kanye ending partnerships with musicians and comedians because they were friends with Pete Davidson, and a couple of those people were Michael Che and Kid Cudi. And Kanye decided to attack Pete in a lyric of his song Easy, because the music video hadn't come out yet, but the lyric said, "God saved me from that crash just so I can beat Pete Davidson's ass." Kanye, not a fan of Pete Davidson. You do you. But it got a bit worse when on March 3rd, Kanye put out his music video for E, in which Kanye took a claymation Pete Davidson and decapitated him and buried him. Like, very obviously claymation Pete Davidson. So that's creepy. And it followed weeks of attacking them on social media. So, and then on the 16th of March, Kanye ended up getting suspended from Instagram for 24 hours for violating the policy on racial slurs because of this post that he put out towards Trevor Noah. See, Trevor Noah had done a spot on The Daily Show where he was talking about Kim Kardashian, Pete Davidson, and Kanye West, and like what was going on in terms of the divorce and everything. And Trevor Noah said that, quote, "What Kardashian is going through is terrifying to watch, and it shines a spotlight on what so many women go through when they choose to leave." And he talked about how it was very much like how no one would listen to his mother, how people thought that she was overreacting. And then his dad shot her. Like, he saw parallels between the way that Kanye was treating Kim publicly on social media and what his own family had gone through. Did not like that, was completely against it 1000%. So yeah, Kanye said that, got him suspended. It's a very strong reaction to have, gonna be honest. The next day, on the 17th, Kanye was seen at the Celtics game with Jaylen Brown. They're there pictured. And then later that evening, Jaylen Brown was seen wearing Donda Doves merch while he was hanging out with ASAP Ferg. On March 19th, Kanye West's reps ended up confirming that Kanye had been barred from performing at the Grammy Awards this year due to his, quote, "concerning online behavior," you know, with all the tirades, all of the insults, the racial slur thrown at Trevor Noah, the Easy music video. Trevor Noah was slated to host the Grammys that year, and with Kanye's response to his segment on the whole thing, it's understandable that there is a cause for concern because you aren't quite sure how he's going to react in person to Trevor Noah in them. So even though he was barred from performing, he was still invited to be there. He did win awards, but he opted to not go at all. On the 4th, Kanye announced that he was dropping out of Coachella. Page 6 had reported on the 1st that he told Kim that he was, quote, for the sake of the kids, not making any public appearances or inflammatory social media statements, and he will go away somewhere to get better, end quote. On May 5th, Antonio Brown, in all of his genius, ends up filing for Donda Sports to be an actual business, Donda Sports Professional Limited Liability Company. On May 9th, Kanye officially dropped the video for the music video Life of the Party, which was a combination music video and commercial for the Yeezy Gap Engineered by Balenciaga collection. That's a mouthful. May 17th, Donda Academy launched their new website, which is still the same website that they have now. Yeah. So to be a reflection of God's glory in the world. Their mission statement, they have an experience. It's all very creepy and cult-like. It's Donda rule number 58. Writing should be regarded as an activity that necessitates critical thinking, an aspect that is fundamental to all good writing. Now, their mission statement reads, using an ethic of integrity and care, Donda Academy prepares students to become the next generation of leaders, thinkers, and innovators by providing them with a world-class education that includes a rigorous core curriculum and an emphasis on sustainability, creativity, critical thinking, and problem solving. Our project-based learning model allows students to guide instruction based on their interests and skills. We promote ideation, prototyping, and real-world implementation. Donda students grow in their faith and community through daily all-school worship and celebration at Sunday service. So not only do the kids worship in the morning, but they also go to his Sunday service in Calabasas. Sports, one team, one king. We are building the next generation of athletes with an innovative approach to faith and teamwork. Our staff believes each scholar deserves an innovative and personalized education. Our experienced educators have an uncompromised passion for creating lifelong learners and Christ followers. We work to engage and educate the whole student, mind, body, and spirit. Cool. I don't like that. They do have a section on what their daily routine is like as well. So it's a 10-to-1 student ratio, less than 12 students per class, and they have pre-K through 12th grade. Donda rule number 51. Students must be confident in forming ideas. If not, their writing will suffer. We don't know what the rest of the Donda rules are. Like this is about all it tells us for the Donda rules, or the two that I just read. Each day, Donda students learn fundamentals, grow in their faith, and experience 2 enrichment classes. Their daily schedule is full school worship, core classes of language arts, math, and science, lunch and recess, enrichment courses including world language, visual arts, film, choir, and parkour. They do parkour. Because what school doesn't want to have free running as a part of their daily curriculum? I'm so confused. Their admissions thing doesn't really give you too much. It's just a sheet that you fill out. And they were accepting students up until the 2024 school year. Yes, math and science. You're absolutely right. If you click the choir link, it actually takes you to a Google Doc so that you can apply to be part of the choir. They are accepting 2nd through rising 12th graders, and those students get to participate in Sunday service. Not the most ideal thing, you know? So that's the new website that they launched. Now, following all of this, Kanye spent time traveling to Japan and then was in New York on May 22nd for the Balenciaga Spring 23 show. So he was doing good on his word. He was staying out of the public spotlight. He was working on his stuff. He was doing the things that they wanted, like he wanted to do. Good for him. On May 26th, he was spotted for the first time in a while with his oldest daughter, North, having lunch together. But then on May 27th, his song True Love dropped, and he rapped that he felt like his kids are borrowed when he goes to get them from Kim, despite the fact that their current custody agreement is she has them 80% of the time. Kind of sounds like your own fault there, Kanye, but I'm not going to go into that. So, May 29th, I Am Athlete releases a roughly 2-minute long clip where Aaron Donald, 7-time All-Pro and 3-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year, reveals that he's on the sports.
Off the field marketing. Is that why you made the move to Donda Sports? And yeah, talk to us about this Kanye, that's a legendary move. I would love to hear, your thought process and why you made that move.
So it was a opportunity. Shout out to Uncle Chuck, making things happen. But my wife actually do my marketing. She do a lot of my marketing. So it was an opportunity that came to us, me and her, and it made sense. And hearing the whole spectrum of everything that was going on, what they was going to be bringing, the family atmosphere that they got in Donda Sports, and not just me but my wife being a part of that, for me it was a no-brainer. So I think it's a hell of an opportunity to open up a lot of different doors and a lot of different things outside of football that I want to be involved in, I want to do, that my wife want to do. So to be a part of that and be one of that first athletes to be a part of that, it's pretty dope, man. And I'm we're excited about it, and we're gonna see where this thing goes. So
is there a shoe? Is there anything you can share with us? Like, is there a cleat, a shoe?
The AD Yeezys.
Yeah, right. Oh, AD Yeezys. I like that. I mean,
we ain't nothing in full circle, but we've been talking. We got a lot of different things that's planned, and that my wife been talking and getting things done is about to be coming to fruition soon. So
you met Kanye?
Yeah.
How was that?
He cool, man. He real cool. He's a cool dude. We got to talk a little bit. Vibe was at one of his video shoots. He actually wanted me to get in one of the videos, but I was like, no. I was out my element. Like, it was like, what I'm saying? So, but he was cool. He seemed cool, real cool guy, so.
Is he heavily involved in that with the whole Donda Sports?
Yeah, he involved with him, Justin, but, obviously, Donda Sports is something that close to him, obviously with his mother and everything. And, so he definitely wants this to be, something that's top tier, and it's like, it's something he's serious about. So.
Kanye West, now known as Ye.
Yeah, actually, just talked not that long ago about the Donda Doves basketball team. That's the sports team for the school. They don't actually go to the school. They live in luxury apartments and do online school and play basketball all the time. Yeah. So I Am Athlete put that out. Hi, Lubis. Thank you for announcing that you're leaving. Bye, Lubis. Okay. So 2 days later, on May 31st, it was revealed that Jaylen Brown, who we had seen back in March wearing the Donda Dove stuff and had seen Kanye with him after his game, had signed with Donda Sports as well. Donda had eyed the Eastern Conference champion because of his intelligence, social activism, and charitable work on top of his success on the court. Kanye also wanted Jaylen as part of the organization because Jaylen is a, quote, God-fearing man, end quote, and Jaylen's mother emphasized the importance of education at a young age, just like Kanye's mother, Donda, did for him. So, June 18th, because Kanye's still keeping a low profile on social media. He's doing the good thing. He's not being inflammatory with people. It's all well and fun. The Simi Valley Acorn published another article about Kanye's school. In the article, they expressed that all the attempts that they made to reach the staff of the academy has been unsuccessful. They said that there's little public information available on the school's website because it's a private school. No information has to be filed with the Ventura County Office of Education. They just have to file it with the California Department of Education, and the affidavit that they filed has very limited information on it. However, using what was available in the article and, well, petty PI skills, here's what we know. So, when it comes to the state of California, yes, there are only certain things that you are required to do as a private school. Now, let's go over the most important parts of this, shall we? So, number one, private schools, because I have it written down. Accreditation for a private school in the state of California is completely optional. Registration is mandatory. Private schools are required to file an affidavit annually with the superintendent of public instruction between the 1st and 15th day of October. Licensing has no requirements. Approval is optional. Teacher certifications are optional. They just have to be a, quote, person capable of teaching, end quote. The length of the private school year and school day is set by the private school officials who oversee the operation of the private school. Private schools are not required to follow the state's adopted content standards. Private schools are just required to offer instruction in the several branches of study required in the public schools of the state, i.e., math, science, language arts, those history, those core classes, that's all they're required to have. Now, the affidavit that they are required to file annually must include the number of students that are enrolled, number of teachers, administrators, who the head of the school is, who the custodian of records is, all of that very pertinent information. So, what we have learned from the affidavit itself is that the school is at the Simi Valley location that was previously talked about. It is a co-educational school, so it's not like an all-girls or all-boys school. The lowest grade is kindergarten. The highest grade on the affidavit is 8th grade. So the high school team, the high school boys that they have for the Donda Doves, not even registered as a part of the school in the state of California. They're completely separate. They have nothing to do with the academy. The number of kids enrolled is 21. They have 10 full-time teachers, 3 administrators, 2 people that are deemed other staff. The head of the school and custodian of records is Brianne Campbell, and the executive director is Beulah McLeod. Now, per the article, Shayla Scott, who is also in the Slam article, is the assistant principal athletic director, and she is the chief operating officer of Donda Sports. And then Japheth McNeil is the basketball skill trainer for the Donda Doves. Now, yeah, it is a concerning list, isn't it? It's a very concerning list. Absolutely concerning. There's of course more rules, but that more so has to do with like students are required to be vaccinated. Anyone that is going to be working with or volunteering with children in the school have to do a full background check, including fingerprints, and that must be submitted within the affidavit as well. And if one of those teachers also happens to be an administrator, then that background information has to be available to the parent at all times. Yeah. I read all about this. I learned all the themes. So, the affidavit, or sorry, so the people that were listed like in all of the stuff, I do have information on them from their LinkedIn, because of course I do. So the first person that they had listed, of course, was Brianne Campbell. And when I first read Brianne Campbell's stuff, I actually got like highly concerned because she's supposed to be like the head of the school. So she's listed as the principal and executive director of the school, right? But she has no education experience at all whatsoever. She went to Coastal Carolina University, and that was just for a Bachelor of Fine Arts. And I will say this, I live in the Carolinas. That school was on my short list, and it was not on my short list for educational purposes. It's one of those schools. She is currently enrolled in a master's program at Pepperdine, but it's for organizational leadership. Nothing to do with education, just organizational leadership. Cool. She was a creative director at NutriSpoon, and I looked into NutriSpoon, and it reads more like an MLM than anything else. She was the founder and teacher for Melody Makers Academy of Music. She taught piano. She is the choir director of Sunday service, of Kanye's Sunday service. She's the choir director. So I don't know how that makes her qualified to be the head of a school, but it is what it is. So seeing that, I got concerned about like everyone else that was listed and involved. Shayla Scott, she actually is very well qualified for her job. She has a Bachelor of Arts in Media and Professional Communications. She has a master's degree in Health and Physical Activity and Fitness. She was the assistant women's basketball coach at a university. And she was the athletic director of the Ellis School, and the Ellis School is an all-girls preparatory school. So she was pretty much in the same position at the Ellis School before she came over to Donda, which, great. Very, very proud. So we're on like a good streak with all the people that are involved in the school after Brianne. The one person that was on the list that was most definitely like way overqualified to be a part of this school is Beulah. This is Beulah McLeod, and she worked her way up the educational ladder from English teacher to assistant principal of Gage Park High School in Chicago. She served as the principal of Michelle Clark High School, where she improved the school so much that she was invited to meet Barack Obama and discuss the early college STEM program. She has a BA in English education, a master's in education, an MBA in finance, and she's currently working on her PhD in education administration. She was only a part of Donda for the first school year. She did not return for this school year, and she opted instead to reopen a school in Chicago, the Walter Diet High School for the Arts, after community members went on a 34-day hunger strike to keep the school open. So good on her. Very proud. But what was odd is she has essentially erased, and this was before all this stuff about Kanye came out, she essentially erased every single trace of anything to do with Donda Academy from all of her stuff. Like, she got rid of all of it. The only thing that she has is like one picture with Kanye. So. And then Japheth McNeil is an outside hire that works with the school. He has 13 years of professional basketball experience, and he owns something called Combine Sports, a skill training company specifically for basketball. There's really not much else on that one, but he does still work with the school. So June 27th, Kanye West has been on like this keeping a low profile thing. He hasn't done much. He's doing the good stuff. But he made a surprise appearance at the BET Awards to present Diddy with a Lifetime Achievement Award. And it was his first award show appearance since he was barred from performing at the Grammys in April. And during his speech, he referred to Kim Kardashian as his wife, even though, they're in the process of divorce and the courts declared her legally single. He stated that Diddy, quote, survived a lot of stuff and broke down a lot of doors so we can be standing. He broke down so many doors of classism, taste, swag, end quote. Can someone tell me what that means? Because I'm white, like really white. I'm confused. And he said of his hiatus that he's been on from everything that he wanted to declare himself legally dead for a year and just be off the grid. So, following that, he was sued in July. No, June 29th. I'm sorry. Almost got that wrong. Let me pull it up because I have it. There it is. So June 29th. June 29th, Ultra International Music Publishing, LLC, filed a complaint for copyright infringement with a demand for jury trial against Kanye and his team that released the song Flowers on something called a stem player. Now, the stem player is like a $200 little music thing. Yeah. So Kanye admitted to sampling a 1986 song called Move Your Body, whose copyright is owned by ULMP, in the song Flowers, and did not pay the proper licensing fees. He did not get copyright clearance. He did not do anything and made a shitload of money off of it. So they want their money. They're suing. That case is also still ongoing. July 10th, Kanye did his first live performance since canceling on Coachella in April. He appeared on stage for the song Easy during the Games LA show. Initially, he was just going to stand on stage while a pre-recorded track played behind him, but he decided last minute to grab the mic and do it anyway. During all of this time, he had been doing this thing where he was like completely covered head to toe, like ski mask, cap, glasses, big bulky jacket, the whole nine. Like, you could not see him. So July 17th, it was announced that Kanye had pulled out of his headlining spot for the Rolling Loud Miami show, and he did not give a reason for the change. No one knows why that happened. And then So Kanye's entire divorce thing has been happening since February of last year. We had no clue why it had been going on for so long. And then we learned, as you can see right there, that on August 5th, Kanye's 5th divorce lawyer had quit. Divorce lawyer number 5. We didn't know numbers 1 through 4 had quit, but we definitely learned number 5 quit. So Samantha Spector Esquire was his 5th divorce lawyer for this. And she cited a breakdown in communication as the reason behind the request. Now, according to Kim's divorce lawyer, their team has been ready to go to trial for a while. They've already had their preliminary financial disclosures filed since November of last year. They had a stipulated judgment drafted in advance, and Kanye was not cooperating with anything at all. Hey, widows. And he's trying to make this divorce go on for as long as possible and make it as expensive as possible. But if Kanye doesn't respond from, mind you, this is back in August. So if he didn't respond to anything by September 30th, they were going to move ahead without him. They did not care. They already had their shit in. They were like, nah, we're done. So September 30th was his deadline to respond. And we will get into that later. Because it's a big timeline. So on August 31st, we get a post from multiple celebrities and social media personalities and things like that of the first day of Donda Academy. And we get uniforms, which include those weird bulky ass foam shit shoes that kind of look like 3D printed Crocs gone wrong. Apparently, the entire uniform is a part of the Yeezy Gap by Balenciaga, or engineered by Balenciaga collection. So that's what that looks like. It looks like trash. Now, Kanye had been so good about not posting on social media. He had kept his shit together and was doing fine. Vladimir Putin. Yeah. Anyway. So, September 1st, Kanye decided to start posting on Instagram again. And when Kanye decided to start posting on Instagram again, he at first addressed Kylie Jenner's former assistant. Her name is Victoria. And he said, quote, he told her to, quote, not let Chris make you do Playboy like she made Kylie and Kim do. And Hollywood is a giant brothel. Pornography destroyed my family. I deal with the addiction. Instagram promotes it. Not going to let it happen to North End Chicago. And then over the next 4 hours, he would go on to post, my kid's going to Donda. They not going to see Canyon. Charlamagne and Chris, get your motherfucking popcorn. Anyway, so he put that out there. Now, mind you, at the time, no one knew that Kim's kids were going to Sierra Canyon. She did not have that information publicly out there. So this prompted her to actually hire more security for her kids because that was just not known. It was an unknown thing. Then he put out, there you go, widows. A screenshot of texts that are supposed to be between him and Kim, allegedly. Like, there is no proof they actually were between him and Kim, but he questioned why she gets a say-so in where the kids go to school and he doesn't. And questioned if it's because she's half white. And then this one kind of confirms that it was from Kim, because the very first message says, "From my mom, please tell him to please stop mentioning my name. I am almost 67 years old and I don't always feel great, and this stresses me to no end." To which Kanye said that they don't have say-so over his children and where they go to school, and that they will not do Playboy and sex tapes, and to tell your Clinton friends to come get me, I'm here. Anybody that says I'm spiraling when I express the undeniable truths is a sheep. Shut the fuck up and worry about your own kids. I obviously am dealing with wars at the highest level of control and discrimination based on the level I'm operating at. A conductor gotta turn they back to the audience to direct the orchestra. Oh yay, crazy is basic as fuck at this point. I'm simply right. I know girls who sell pussy that don't agree with how my daughters are displayed. And the final message that he had put out on this spree was, "I was driven crazy before. I'm not going crazy anymore. It's not up to Calabasas or who the kids go to school. I'm not the crazy one here. It's up. I won't stop until I have a say-so on my kids, no matter what it legally takes." During this posting spree, he had also put out stuff against Adidas for making decisions without him in terms of the distribution of the Yeezy shoes, and called out Gap for allegedly copying his Yeezy and Balenciaga collection with them. 4 hours after that first post to Kylie Jenner's former assistant, Kanye completely wiped his Instagram. On September 2nd, Kanye had put out a screenshot on Instagram that was almost immediately deleted, in which he texted Kim and suggested that their kids, North Saint, Chicago, and Psalm, should spend 3 days at Sierra Canyon, their school in Los Angeles, and 2 days at Donda, or vice versa. The same day, Jaylen Brown posted of his visit to Donda Academy. So we finally got like an actual inside look at the school itself. There he is, having lunch with the kids. They're there all together in their uniforms. So now, September 12th, Kanye did a phone interview with Bloomberg. And in this phone interview that he did, he said, quote, "It's time for me to go it alone. It's fine. I made the company's money. The company's made me money. We created ideas that will change apparel forever, like the round jacket, the foam runner, the slides that have changed the shoe industry. Now it's time for Ye to make the new industry. No more companies standing in between me and the audience." He expressed that he wanted to open Donda campuses across the country that would house shopping, schools, farms, dorms. Products sold at Donda campuses would be unique to Yeezy's physical and online shops and designed by existing Yeezy staff. it was revealed that he had repeatedly requested to be put on Gap and Adidas's boards, but no success there. And he has spent a lot of time calling them out for how they handled their business relationship. He expressed that he joined Gap to sell his designs at a more affordable price, but he wasn't included in meetings and was shrugged off by management. Quote, every step of my career, there was something in the way. They did the dream, but just without, end quote. He also addressed issues that he had with JP Morgan Chase Bank. Quote, I feel like there's a lot of controlling and handling to suppress my ability to affect the American economy and industry, end quote. An unaudited balance sheet of his finances reviewed by Bloomberg last year showed that he had $122 million in cash and stocks, with billions more in other assets such as Yeezy. He made $191 million in royalties from the Adidas deal alone in 2020. He had recently enlisted Michael Cohen, Trump's former lawyer and fixer, to help with his personal affairs. Cohen confirmed to Bloomberg that he no longer works with Kanye, but that he is glad that he moved his finances to JP Morgan rather than the small Wyoming bank that he had previously been using. Quote, that bank was not equipped to handle his businesses or him personally, end quote. Kanye wants to negotiate with Adidas to get 20% royalties on all the shoes he's designed, and with the company in perpetuity, and save it for his children. I don't know, Crow. I don't. I don't get it. Hang on, guys. So, moving along. On September 15th, Kanye informed CNBC that he had terminated his contract with Gap.
Said he's terminating his deal with the retailer for failing to meet obligations in the agreement, including product distribution and opening Yeezy Gap stores. Joining us now to discuss, we've got a surprise guest for you, is Ye himself. It's good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So talk to us about what happened here. Why are you terminating this deal with Gap?
Well, it was always a dream of mine to be at the Gap and to bring the best product possible to the masses. And I always talk to them about doing products for $20, like the best product in the world, designed at the same level of the top fashion houses in the world at $20 for the people. And so we went through 3 years, and, you know, obviously there's always like struggles and back and forth when you're trying to build something new and integrate teams. So we designed an entire collection, and actually I wasn't able to set the actual price that I wanted for this collection. And then they actually took one of the shirts and sold it for $19. So didn't price my stuff at like $200 and above their whole price point normally, and then did the exact shirt for $20. Also, they did pop-ups and I signed on with them because they had, in the contract, they said they were going to do stores, and they just ignored us about building stores constantly. And it was very frustrating. It was very disheartening because I just put everything I had. I put, all of my top relationships. I went and got Dimna, the head designer of Balenciaga, which is one of the hottest brands in the world, to come. He does couture. And with that relationship, he ended up, working on a Gap collection for me. There are a lot of things, colorways that I didn't approve. There's a lot of places that the product went to, certain sites where it was like they were just dog and pony and the idea around town. And sometimes I would talk to the guys, the heads up, the leaders, and it would just be like I was on mute or something. And they totally, our agenda, it wasn't aligned. And I know, my family, we're Garmentos. My family, we made the first Louis Vuitton bootleg jogging suits. When they used to confiscate the bags at LAX, that's actually literally my family that would cut up those bags and make jogging suits. We literally would make cross colors. Yeah, this is because people always think of things like a celebrity. This kind of, I wouldn't have been so influential in clothing language. I like that, but I like the word language better than aesthetic, because the language is the base. Aesthetic is just a style. It's a language that me and Virgil and Dimna and Jerry Lorenzo and Matt Williams brought in streetwear, in this Mark Echoes complex idea of what it is today, what high schools look like today. And everyone knows that, I'm the leader, I'm the king, right? So a king can't live in someone else's castle. A king has to make his own castle.
This is the mother of.
So, when he did that, Gap CEO Mark Breitbart confirmed in the memo to employees that the retailer would, quote, wind down, in quote, its partnership with Yeezy. From the memo, while we share even of bringing high quality, trend forward, utilitarian design to all people through unique omni experiences with Yeezy Gap, how we work together to deliver this vision is not aligned. What is important to know is that throughout this partnership, we have upheld our commitments, and the teams have done so with the utmost integrity, navigating obstacles and demonstrating incredible resolve. The retailer still planned on am I replying? No. Don't catch any of that. Huh. Let's see. Am I still roboty? Hold on. I hate when it does that. I'll give it a second. Hold on. Do. Y'all let me know when I sound normal again, I suppose. Oh, robot mango. No. That's terrible. I don't want to be a robot. No. I'm good now? Okay, cool. So, yeah. Gap had planned on working through the rest of their inventory, getting it, sold until it was gone, all of that stuff. Also on September 15th, Rolling Stone put out an article on Donda Academy. Anyway, so in the article from Rolling Stone, what we learned about the school is that Donda Academy is not yet accredited and was looking for teachers before the school year began. And in fact, I do have they were and actually still are looking for teachers for Donda. people associated with the school, including parents of children enrolled, were not willing to do interviews when approached. The principal and executive director of the school is Brianne Campbell, the one with no education experience. Malik Youssef is a producer and longtime collaborator of Kanye, and he told Rolling Stone that he helped shape the school's concept and that it is part of Kanye's 5-year vision, which includes a university and cross-country campuses. The 2022-2023 school year started off with 100 students in late August. Students at the school were described as being the children of people that have collaborated with West, creatives, and other celebrities. One person of note that was open about their child being enrolled was Keisha Cole. The academy offers unique opportunities, including having access to NBA players like Jordan Clarkson of the Utah Jazz and Jaylen Brown of the Celtics. Aspiring musicians have access to West's industry connections and can join the choir, which participates in the Sunday service. And children interested in fashion and other creative fields have the chance to learn at a school founded by a man with, quote, boundless imagination. The air of secrecy around Donda is actually like on purpose, kind of. And the process of Donda's school is for parishioners, for the attendees. I don't think Kanye needs to tell the world what he's doing so that he can be under more scrutiny. People choose to bring their kids to Donda Academy for a sense of privacy, a sense of care, a sense of concern, a sense of love, an environment of health, and an environment of wealth, an environment of learning, and putting God as a focus. Tamar Andrews is a consultant for Donda with over 2 decades of experience in early childhood education, and she confirmed to Rolling Stone that parents signed an informal agreement with the school. So it's not quite an NDA, but at the same time, no one wanted to talk about the school. So Andrews did say that while the school was not yet accredited, they were looking to get accreditation from the Western Association of Schools and Colleges, and their first visit was scheduled for December of this year. And for those that don't know, accreditation is like absolutely key to ensuring that graduating high schoolers' credits and diplomas will be accepted by colleges, because there are a lot of institutions that may not recognize like students' credits or diplomas from unaccredited schools. So it's important. Before this, Beulah McLeod, she did put out a statement to Rolling Stone about her departure from the school. Quote, "We had philosophical differences about the level of stability that is required to educate students in an effective way. As an educator with over 22 years of experience in the field, I always put children at the forefront of any decision that I make. Consequently, I moved on." End quote. So they did that, and then come here. Hold on. I have. Oh, I didn't put it in here. I'm terribly sorry. We have 2 clips from an interview that he did.
You know, you just get to a point, right?
Sorry about that. So on September 16th, Kanye did an interview on the Aloe Full Mind podcast hosted by Aloe Yoga. And since all of this stuff happened with Kanye. This interview was actually removed from both the website and all of the various listening sites for the podcast. So, but in it, he explained that he only reads the first and last sentences of long text messages. He expressed frustration over people wanting him to speak proper English, and he had some word salady things to say on school curriculums, Adidas, and Gap.
And every time you get to that point, everyone wants to say, oh, it's mental health. And everybody wants you to apologize a million times because everybody want to have everyone so doped out, so controlled out that you're not allowed to even stand up for the things that you're handing to your family. And the idea of taking the control and opinions or anything away from the mother or the father takes away a person's meaning in life. Doesn't matter how much money you have, the meaning that's going to be directly your church, your home is your original church. So even to this day, it's like I'll still give Kim advice on things that can help because that's going to go to the kids. That's going to go
right.
That she's still got to, basically 80% of the time raise those children. So I want to raise this, when people saw this, what I was going back and forth on is, hey, I have to be able to throw my version of what people would throw like a Rick Owens or Margiela or Yeezys on to the curriculum because my were able to do that to me. They showed me anime when I was 8 years old, or my dad had drafting tables, or I was in computer programming class, or I was programming video games in 7th grade. And the standard curriculums that are there, we have to balance them because it shows you how to interact in today's society and all that. But we have to balance things with curriculums that allow for self-confidence, because so many of the schools in modern indoctrinations take away from the confidence that these future leaders would have in themselves. And those less confident leaders lean on lying as opposed to leaning on the truth, leaning on the truth first.
How's your sleep hygiene? What's your sleep like? What do you?
I'm obviously not getting any sleep. I must be in an episode. Everyone is a medical PhD, right? When it comes to episodes and injuries, right? If someone thinks that you're in an episode, they're like, you need sleep. I'm like, thank you. Who's the most famous doctor of all time? Dr. Fauci?
Yeah, Dr. Fauci. Yes,
it's like,
yes.
You're in an episode. You need sleep. Thank you, Dr. Fauci. Yeah. Right. And then another one is like, if you like hurt yourself or something like that, what does everyone say? Oh, put ice on it. Thanks, PhD.
So good.
Why would there be hospitals if putting ice on it was literally the cure to
all cures?
The cure of all cure. Put ice on it. That's what I did with my first chain and my first watch. I definitely put some ice on it.
Nice.
I'm trying to, I don't know if I got that whole, I kind of went on like this 7-part visual experience. These aren't rants I'm giving you. These are visual experiences, right? I'm painting a picture, a sonic picture. Walk with me here. So the idea is people shame the concept of mental health. It is the lowest form of discrimination. Why? Because you take anything that someone is discriminated for, and that person can discriminate against you and call you crazy. Even a crazy person can call you crazy.
Right. Right.
And it's an interesting, weight to carry. It's an interesting tick here and there. It's like a when some people said that the COVID shot was the mark of the beast. It's like a mark of the beast on my ego, because I could do something crazy in the best way, and it could be like literally like a random person on the street and point like from 2 blocks away and say, that was crazy. And I feel like shit for a little bit. And it hurts as a human being.
Of course.
And it still like hurts my feelings, and it's nothing I could do. And then I start to talk about, well, I made this amount of money to compensate for people downing me, or the fact that people can, I call it Britney Spears dadding someone. I could be talking like to one of these like CEOs or something, and I'm just talking, and it's like they just press mute and my lips are moving and they're not hearing anything I say. And they start talking over me. The whole reason why I went to Gap is every step of the way in my career, there was something in the way of my career. There was like, oh, the price point is here, or I can only get this much. So I went to Gap like, okay, this is it. And they did the actual thing. They took the design that I did with Dimna from Balenciaga, and they made a $19 version of the t-shirt. They did the dream, but just without Steve. They did the dream without Ye. But they still want to like do it with that kind of background and all these. And, mark these words of this interview. I'm going to run shit. Right? Here's another. I got a lot of thoughts I thought about in the past 2 weeks. Another thing is like money. The ultimate power is position. It's not money, it's position, because someone in between or at a higher position could determine your fate, and they could have way less money. So when I made that joke about you work at Universal, I could do that because I'm no longer at Universal. So you're no longer the executive that can talk to me like I'm not me. I don't work for you no more. But I honestly believe that Gap and Adidas are part of a bigger plan to marginalize American companies and American industry, which is the opposite of what Danny's doing. And that's why you see this glow coming from me, because in this prison of finger pointing and name calling, a little crack of light, a little Shawshank Redemption came through that prison cell at that factory today.
This is the
Okay, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to try and decipher. You see, when someone's having a string of consciousness and you do not stop them, redirect them, or pose a question that they have to think about and answer, you are going to get that. Am I robot-y again? God damn it. I hate being robot, Mango. Robot. Maybe not a robot no more. Maybe. But yeah. Ms. Parker is absolutely right. He is mentally ill and has no one to help him with his thoughts. He is. He 1000% is. He does not have anyone to help him with his thoughts, and he also chooses to not get help with his thoughts because having a mental breakthrough/breakdown was fire. Yeah, take your meds. Definitely take your meds. Take your meds, drink water, get plenty of sleep. But remember, we all have PhDs. We all do. And Ms. Parker makes sure that we all have our PhDs with the Petty Fam University. Kanye's advantage is he does have musical talent, so people will give him the benefit of the doubt. People will try to understand him even when he isn't making sense. To a degree. At this point, though, there are more people willing to take advantage of the fact that he is mentally ill and unmedicated and going through something than there are people willing to help, i.e., Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, people like that. And yes, he does think his mental illness is where his genius and talent is. If he is on his meds, then it suppresses his genius, it suppresses his talent, and it is what it is. That's just what happens. And it's highly unfortunate that he thinks that way. Yes, Gavin Kit Kats has a PhD in bathtubs and tuna. Yeah. So that's what he did September 22nd. That's what he did September 16th. That was his interview. That was part of his interview with Aloe Full Mind. Because I'm going to break this up into 2 parts. We're going to get to a certain point in October, and then we're going to do the rest on another stream. But when both parts have gone all the way through, I will be putting out the Google Drive that has all of the notes, all of the source links, all of the videos, all of the screenshots, all of the everything that I am showing you will be available to you. So, exactly. We want to look at crazy and what it produces. We don't want to think about the broken mind that makes it. And we're actually going to see some of that coming up in certain interviews that he does. So, September 22nd, Kanye does an appearance on Good Morning America. And he has things to say about his co-parenting relationship with Kim. He has stuff to say about Adidas, and he has stuff to say about Gap. I did only pull a couple bits and pieces because Good Morning America, I don't want them to take me down. Sorry, guys.
Mother of my children, and I apologize for any stress that I have caused, even in my frustration, because God calls me to be stronger. But also, ain't nobody else finna be causing no stress either. I need this person to be least stress and a best sound mind and as calm as possible to be able to raise those children.
Do you feel you have a voice as you're co-parenting now?
I do have a voice, but I had to fight for it. That hurts you when you have to like scream about what your kids are wearing. And it's just little nuances where there was a parallel to what was happening at Gap, what was happening at Adidas, and what was happening in my home. It was all a kind of a disregard for the voice of something that I co-created. I co-created the children. I co-created the product at Adidas. I co-created the product at Gap. There's a parallel, and the parallel does touch on discrimination.
Even within your marriage?
Yeah, I want my kids to go to Donda, and I have to fight for a safe.
How do you move forward?
Okay, so he brought up wanting to have a say-so with his kids about how he co-created them. He should have a say. Once again, August 5th, his 5th divorce lawyer quit. His 5th divorce lawyer quit. You cannot establish a stable custody agreement in the midst of a divorce when your 5th lawyer quits on you because you are not cooperating. You can't make that progress if you are fighting everyone along the way. You cannot make the progress with your ex-wife to be able to do things with your kids more than, the 20% that you get to see them, more than the time, effort, and energy to drive them to school, to go to their sports games, to do whatever, if you are not willing to participate. Yeah, everything is. Well, that's fair, but he also can't properly fight to be able to have custody of the kids more than what he has if he keeps firing people. Yes, I knew I would start popcorning again. God dang it.
Now in the fashion industry, when they're saying you can't even not only show Yeezy products, but anything bearing that likeness.
Oh, we got some new lawyers. We really had to level up and show them who's the new boss in town.
Good morning, Donda. Good morning, Donda.
Okay, hold on. Let me see something. Do. Perhaps. Maybe. Possibly, perhaps. Am I frozen? I know I paused my video. Yay! Okay, cool. Sweet. Good shit. Okay, but we're back. We're good. Possibly. Hopefully my mic's okay. So, besides that, right. So that was Kanye's appearance on Good Morning America, or at least parts of it. So he had a new lawyer, according to him, for all of his business stuff. He's constantly getting new lawyers, y'all. Like, he's gotten a lot of new lawyers, and we will definitely go over all of that in part 2, because we're only going up to a certain point tonight. So now after that, we get a post on September 30th from Dorrell Wright. Now, Dorrell Wright is also a former pro NBA player, and he is the current coach of the Donda Doves basketball team. So there he is. He posted on Instagram about it. So we got confirmation on who that is within the Donda community. Excellent. Which leads us into October. And this month has been completely wild. It has been absolutely goddamn insane. So it starts out with the morning of October 2nd, when this video gets released of the Donda Academy choir. Oh, is my audio not? Oh, shit. Hold on. Hold on. Let me face it. Do. Share screen. I know I would mess something up. There we go. Let's see. Aha.
Good morning, Donda. 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 Good morning, Donda.
What happened? Where did my audio go?
Good morning, Donda. Good morning.
Do I have audio? Can y'all hear it?
Good morning, Donda.
I bet it's my end. I bet I fucked something up.
Good
Hold on.
morning, Donda. Good morning, Donda. Good morning, Donda. Good morning, Donda.
Yeah, that's my fault. Y'all could hear it. I couldn't.
Good morning, Donda. Good morning, Donda. Good morning, Donda. Good morning, Donda.
I messed up. That's my bad.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, totally not a cult. Like, definitely not a cult. Never been a cult. Nope. That's their choir. That's what they sing in the morning. It's called Hello Donda. That's what they do. Yeah. Yeah. They put that out. They let us know, hey, this is the choir. This is what they sing. It doesn't help that they're all dressed the same and do other weird shit, but hey, you do you. So after that happened, Kanye was in Paris. Okay. Kanye was in Paris because that night on October 2nd, he was opening the Balenciaga show called Mud. And this show took place in Mud. Yes. Every morning they sing a song about his mother. They sing hello to his mother every morning. It's right before the full school worship that they do. Oh, and the choir takes place, like the choir about with Sunday service. And the choir was actually at the Paris show. Throwing that out there. They were there. They sang at his Paris show. But besides that, Kanye opened Balenciaga in this crazy number. They are walking in mud. Look at him go. He's a strong, independent woman that don't need no man. So that was that. Looking all professional in dirt. Kanye stole that suit from you. Yeah, like the entire Balenciaga thing, I don't get it, but I also don't understand fashion. So it is what it is. It'll be what it'll be. But yeah, it's fashion. So the morning of October 3rd, an interview with Kanye in Paris is published by Vogue. Okay. And in this interview, he explains the concept of where the collection that he will be presenting at the fashion show that night came from. And the concept is, quote, there's just people from the same planet. And in a situation like this, we have the opportunity to come together to express who we are, end quote. Yes. It's exactly like what it is. And I don't get it. I don't. But I guess I don't have to get it. I mean, Balenciaga no longer works with them, but we'll get into that. So how he sees his history and future in the fashion business as a 3-chord progression. The first was that moment of insertion back in 2009. The second was when he and the many other talents he seed, like Virgil Abloh, and others too, started delivering. And the third part of his progression is to, quote, clean up the companies. He does not expand on what he means by cleaning up the companies. So he also talked about plans for a series of like something called Dondasteries, which would be safe places for those in need. Of the school and its cousin sites to come, he says the most important resource we can have is knowledge, because with knowledge, we can go and get food. So when we talk about the Donda School, we're creating high-end educational, but also vocational skills. There are things we forgot about, like how to sew, how to cook, how to farm, carpentry, basic physical needs. We're starting in Chatsworth, and we have land in Wyoming, and Young Thug offered us land in Atlanta, so we're going to put one out there. We're going to roll it out. The more he talks about it, the more it sounds like a cult. The more we see about it, the more it's a fucking cult. But I digress. The night of October 3rd, Kanye has his show, and Candace Owens puts out this picture of her and Kanye in White Lives Matter shirts. Now, before the show began, he told the audience, "Everyone here knows that I am the leader. You can't manage me. This is an unmanageable situation." He went on to reference his ex-wife Kim's robbery in Paris in 2016, his former manager, Scooter Braun, his recent falling out with Gap. Northwest led a children's choir who performed the event with members of the Donda Academy Choir. Creepy-ass kids, yeah. And Naomi Campbell, she modeled in his show, but opted not to wear the White Lives Matter shirt, which featured a picture of Pope John Paul II on the front. Yeah, that's a theme that happened. So, following this, on October 6th, Adidas reported to CNBC that their relationship with Kanye was currently under review. Quote, "After repeated offers to privately resolve the situation, we have taken the decision to place the partnership under review. We will continue to co-manage the current product during this period. The company has said that the partnership with Yeezy is one of the most successful collaborations in the history of the industry. West sneaker and apparel business with Adidas and Gap was valued at the time of the article between $3.2 and $4.7 billion. In response to this statement that was made by Adidas, Kanye decided to post on Instagram this. I will read part of it, not the other part. "Fuck Adidas. I am Adidas. They stole his designs," according to him. So that's his response to the Adidas thing. That evening, the first half of the Tucker Carlson interview comes out, and he addressed the White Lives Matter shirt. He didn't have much else to say. I will not be playing the Tucker Carlson interview on here because Fox is very, very ban happy. But he also decided to address Lizzo's weight and talked about how when Lizzo loses 10 pounds and announces it, the bots, which is supposedly the term for telemarketers on the internet, attack her because the media wants to put out a perception that being overweight is the new goal when it's actually unhealthy. Quote, "Let's put aside that it's fashion in vogue," which it's not, or if someone thinks it's attractive, to each his own. It's actually clinically unhealthy, and for people to promote that is demonic. End quote. So yes, people that support Lizzo are now demonic. So saith yay to Tucker Carlson. Which, it's a thing. So the second half of the Tucker Carlson interview comes out on October 7th. And within that, he made it clear that he isn't willing to compromise when it comes to his kids' education. He said that the school that they are at is indoctrinating them. He revealed that the current setup for their children is that they attend school at Sierra Canyon and then do extracurriculars at Donda and sing in the choir. Kanye firmly believes that his youngest son, Psalm, is already indoctrinated because Psalm questioned why he had to sing at Donda if he does not go there. And I forgot to type this out, but yeah, he said that of his child. and ended up saying, quote, "So imagine a 16-year-old version of that guy, or the 26-year-old version of that guy, where the father doesn't have a say-so of what the kids are watching, what the kids are wearing, what the kids are eating, or who the kids are hanging out with." End quote. All because Psalm questioned having to sing at a school that he does not attend. He does believe he's the smartest man on earth. Absolutely does, Miss Parker. So he did that. Tucker Carlson. Click put out a 20-minute interview between Kanye and this man, Moulad Achour. We are going to watch a couple of bits of that. You don't hear the audio. Oh no. Hold on. Audio. I did do a Parker. I don't know how I did the Parker. How did I do the Parker? Huh. Hold on, let me pull it up on a different thing and not VLC and see if maybe you'll get the audio. How did I do the Parker? It's okay. We'll figure this out. We got this. Let's try it. Let's see. Let's try it with this. Maybe this will work. Perhaps. Mayhaps. Tiny haps. Can y'all hear it now? Yay! I fixed it. How did I fuck this up this bad? How did I manage this one? Okay, so first of all, I'm going to sue. Because this is ridiculous. But let's see. Hold on. Let's do something here. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying stuff in Beans and it's not working. So let's see. Let me. Okay. Do that. Do that. Move this over here. Let's try this again. I don't know what's happening with that. I'm sorry, y'all. This makes no sense to me. Hmm. I don't know why it's not doing this.
Press. They didn't have to write in the press that I was going to the hospital. I have a lot of friends that went to the hospital. But if you put that stigma on somebody, it's like a mental Me Too. It's like we went on another leg of the tour, and 4 days in, I passed out from exhaustion, and I went to the hospital. And ever since that day, every day someone can call me crazy, which is another way of saying turn the camera off on them. The people that were that were friends of mine, they still put it in the press. They didn't have to write in the press that I was going to the hospital. I have a lot of friends that went to the hospital. But if you put that stigma on somebody, it's like a mental Me Too. It's like where someone looks at you and they have to look at or just a random person can come up to you and ask you if you good. Like J-Lo can ask me at the Kardashian Christmas party, you good? I just want to make sure you good, right? So sometimes people call me classist when I talk about money, and I say, yo, I bring up money. I respect money and the construct of it inside of this game of life, but I also bring it up to say, well, if I'm so crazy, why do I have the ability to make so much more of the thing that you care the most about? They say you're crazy until you're right.
It's not that they say that you're crazy until you're right. It's really not. They say that you're crazy up to a certain point. I mean, yeah. I mean, imagine being so out of touch that you think J-Lo is a regular person. Yeah. But at the same time, in his life, that is a regular person. It's a whole different environment. It's the best way I can put it. So, all right. It is from this point forward that everything sort of started to pop off. Okay. So, up until this point, we've learned some stuff about the school. We've learned about the basketball team. We know that he did the White Lives Matter thing. We know that he ended his contract with Gap. We know that he had taken a break from social media. He had been good. He'd been quiet. And then he started off again talking about his kids and Kim and Donda. And it was a mess. But the mess started getting worse. So Kanye got a text message from Diddy. And he told Diddy Diddy told him that he did not like the White Lives Matter shirt and that he should not sell them. Kanye should not sell these shirts. So we're going to take a look at that. Kanye went on a huge thing. He did not like the conversation that he had had with Diddy in regards to the shirt and to what Diddy was requesting of him. As we can see, he wanted to talk to him face to face. That's an understandable request. But This is one of the first instances that we see him on social media talking about Jewish people. The very first anti-Semitic thing that he said. So this is his conversation with Diddy. This entire thing ended up getting him put into timeout. He was zucked because we know that Zuckerberg owns Insta. So it sucked for that. In response to getting zucked, Kanye tweets for the first time since November 2020. And this is what he tweets out. He wants to know why he got kicked off Instagram and then posted a pic of him doing karaoke with Zuck. So Kanye's big mad. He's been kicked off Instagram. He wants to know why. Elon Musk, super stoked to have fucking Kanye back. Tweets to him, "Welcome back, my friend." The Hollywood Reporter gets notice on October 8th that West's account on Instagram really was restricted, that he had violated policies and certain content of his was deleted by Instagram itself. And it was what it was. Well, Kanye tweeted out this. Quote, "I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people." Yes, he said that. No, this channel does not support the anti-Semitic statements of Kanye West. This is for educational purposes and figuring out what the fuck is going on. So, he goes on to say that he actually can't be anti-Semitic. They have toyed with him and they tried to blackball anyone, whoever opposes your agenda. That's Kanye's tweet. That is what he tweeted out on October 8th. That got him banned from Twitter, or it got him put in Twitter timeout. I'll say that. So, Kanye's in Twitter timeout. The next thing that we see is on the 10th, Elon Musk tweets out that he talked to him about his tweet. Elon talked to Kanye. He let him know that it was not right. And he thinks that Kanye took it to heart. I don't think he did. Neither does anyone else. Let's find out why. So, Kanye, having been taken off of Twitter and Instagram for his words and his actions, releases a video onto his YouTube channel. This video is called Last Week. The segment that I'm about to play for you is from about 10 minutes in, because the video did cover an entire week's worth of Kanye's life. But this clip is incredibly important to everything that is currently going on with Kanye.
He's got a Northern European accent. Okay. You go. Oh, come on. Yeah, come on. Doesn't he sound like the voice sounds similar? The voice sounds similar. Yeah. So basically, I'm only going to work at it if he's a CEO. You guys have done wrong by the company, by the business, and by the partnership. The whole concept of this video is that the guy had cheated. So then the girl was like, well, I'm going to do the thing that you're
like worst nightmare. This is your worst nightmare. Your worst nightmare is not me like hitting you. Your worst nightmare is not me playing the porn. Your worst nightmare is not me screaming. We've done all this. That's your worst nightmare. And then worst nightmare number 2. So, is it your dream or is it a nightmare? What are we doing?
What you're feeling right now is extreme discomfort. And that is exactly the point, because when someone steals this man's ideas, his creations, it's like you're stealing a child. These are all children of his mind, and you've kidnapped them. There are easy inspired derivatives that are making significant revenue because people can't tell the difference because it's so inspired. If someone stole Stella's designs, you would be extremely upset. So he's angry and he's right. Hold on, let me just finish.
I'm this kind of angry though.
Yeah.
I used to be angry now.
Right, but you saw what just happened yesterday. We terminated the Gap relationship and they knew they did wrong. You guys know you did wrong, and your spirit of saying we can get to a place to live with your ass, that's the starting point of a conversation.
And I would also recognize that we have, we can certainly do a lot better in the way we work with you.
Treat your
That's legal word. That's legal word.
I want to make sure that there's a win-win-win situation going on here, and it starts with somebody feeling very highly disrespected.
Yeah.
And there's grounds for that, in my opinion. Again, I've been removed for 3 years, so I can say that I believe there's some grounds for that.
Well, if I'm the king of culture, I gotta step up, even if Jay is held by the money, or even if Jay is not Christian, I have to step up as the king of culture. Now, because you're talking to the king of culture. Now, this is the king of culture. Now, you're face to face, eye to eye with the person who does songs with your father-in-law, with the person who discovered Virgil, with the person who discovered Dimna, with the person who placed the creative director at Skims, with the person who's he had a Travis that slept on his couch. I had a Travis that slept on my couch. I had his Travis with Uber, my Travis was Scott. Literally Scott dissing. Because Travis is Scott, if you follow my Instagram. I have Baby King come to the show tonight. We have Kendrick. Our army is so prepared. You understand? This is a different level of nuclear activity that no one will recover from. The guy from could not sell enough companies to cure this level of global warming that you're going to experience.
Again, I think
Adidas has to come and be like, okay, boom. I actually do it this opposite way right now. Boom, and then say, yay. What do you want? I'm not talking to you guys. I'm not arguing about money with people broker than me. I'm not arguing about ideas with people with lesser ideas than me. I'll be right back.
First, we take time out.
Kanye West ended his agreement with Gap on September 15th. This, as he stated, was the day after. That means that that meeting with Adidas executives was September 16th. He showed porn to Adidas executives to use as an example of how they're treating him. He used it as an analogy. You don't do that in professional business meetings. You don't. You don't act the way that he did in professional business meetings. And he released this right after they announced that they're reviewing the relationship. Maybe that's part of the reason why they're reviewing it. Because you do stuff like that. There's absolutely no reason to do stuff like that. There's not. None whatsoever. So he put that out October 10th. Now, October 11th, Vice released some unseen clips from the interview with Tucker Carlson, because Tucker Carlson and his team edited down the interview to fit, of course, what they wanted, what they needed. Yeah. One of the first things that they deleted, of course, was Kanye saying that he's vaccinated, because Tucker Carlson is the king of pushing the fake, oh, the vaccine's going to hurt you thing. Like, it's just not true. So,
Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger, a known eugenics with the KKK, to control the Jew population. When I say Jew, I mean the 12 lost tribes of Judah, the blood of Christ, who the people known as the race Black really are. This is who our people are, the blood of Christ. This, as a Christian, is my belief. And I believe that if we saw ourselves as more...
Okay, so first of all, yes. The founder of Planned Parenthood very much was a eugenicist, and she was very much racist. Did she found Planned Parenthood with the KKK? No. In fact, she didn't talk to the KKK until multiple years after she had already founded the Planned Parenthood stuff. But when I put out the Google Doc, there will be additional reading on that. Planned Parenthood did completely knock her off of their shit. They're just like, no, we don't agree with any of this. What we want is for people to have access to healthcare. So, good on you, Planned Parenthood. Appreciate that.
I was biting my tongue on my political opinion because I thought it would be better for my children. And now you look up and my kids are going to a school that teaches Black kids a complicated Kwanzaa. I prefer my kids knew Hanukkah than Kwanzaa. At least it will come with some financial engineering. Kwanzaa doesn't, so they don't teach even Christmas itself, Christ Mass.
The school that his kids go to is a very top-rated private school. It's fully accredited, it's fully vetted, it's done all the stuff. Around holidays, they learn about all the holidays, as do the vast majority of schools. They teach you, hey, these are what these different holidays that are celebrated are. That clip was removed, well, because he's already on his anti-Semitic tirade. Why include even more, right? Yeah. Also, the whole financial engineering thing, that's not cool. No. Bad Kanye. It makes no sense.
Anymore.
I'll talk to him if I see him.
Yep.
But I guarantee you he see me. And I have visions that God gives me just over and over on community building and how to build these free energy, fully kinetic energy communities where we put the least impression on the earth. We're not building the new New York skyline cockfight, that we are humble in the way that we present ourselves. We've got to rethink who we are as a species.
So that one really highlights how he is at a point where he cannot differentiate between what is factual and what is not. He is talking about technology that does not exist. He is talking about something that is just not feasible in reality. Let's put it that way. Yes. I am drinking a regular Coke because I need caffeine, because it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. And actually, at 2 o'clock in the morning, I am going to end this. So, because we're only going to go so far into the timeline before I do a part 2. There's a lot. There's a lot. Don't tell him that. So, in the Tucker Carlson interview, Kanye did express that he was going to be the first Latino president. Don't know what he means by that, but Vice did not put out the extra bit in which he said, quote, "I just trust Latinos when I work with them, I trust them more than, I'll be safe, certain other businessmen," end quote. Carlson did not have him expand upon what he meant by certain other businessmen, but I'm sure that we all know, based off of the everything that's been happening, what he meant. In the second, I'm very glad that Vice did not put out this particular clip, because in it, he talked about fake children that had been placed in his home to manipulate and sexualize his real children, and he doesn't believe one of his associates' sons is really their son because, quote, he was way smarter than her, end quote. They purposely left out things that would really highlight what type of things Kanye is dealing with in terms of his mental illness. They cut out things that they knew would cause people to question why he was allowed to do an interview like this. They would put out things that would make them question Tucker Carlson and why Tucker Carlson allowed him to just keep talking on things of that nature. So it's really telling what was clipped out. Now, that same day, clips came out. An exclusive statement was given to a website called Anscape. And Anscape, they reported on an episode of a podcast called The Shop was not going to be released. Okay? So, hold on. Where are you? No, I know you're here. Ah, I have it. Yes, it is. Okay, so The Shop, Maverick Carter is one of the people that is part of The Shop, and he put out a statement to Escape that said, quote, "Yesterday we taped an episode of The Shop with Kanye West. Kanye was booked weeks ago, and after talking to Kanye directly the day before we taped, I believed that he was capable of a respectful discussion, and he was ready to address all his recent comments. Unfortunately, he used The Shop to reiterate more hate speech and extremely dangerous stereotypes. We have made the decision to not air this episode or any of Kanye's remarks. While The Shop embraces thoughtful discourse and differing opinions, we have zero tolerance for hate speech of any kind and will never allow our channels to be used to promote hate. I take full responsibility for believing Kanye wanted a different conversation, and I apologize to our guests and crew. Hate speech should never have an audience." End quote. That same day, because like I said, everything is just happening in a massive snowball effect at this point. Like, once it kicked off, it just kept going. And it kept going with the Holocaust Museum, LA, who put out their own invitation to Kanye West. And for those that are just listening, it reads, Words matter, and words have consequences, yay. We urge you to come visit us at Holocaust Museum LA to understand just how words can incite horrific violence and genocides. The Holocaust started with only words that sadly begat stereotypes, racial and religious tropes, and blaming others, and led to the murder of 6 million Jews. At Holocaust Museum LA, it is our mission to commemorate those who were murdered, educate on the Holocaust and all genocides, including the genocide perpetuated against the American people, of which your children would be included, and inspire a more dignified and humane world. Your words reach millions, and you can choose to incite or you can choose to inspire. And they gave the address, and they said that they welcome him anytime. So you've got a podcast that's already opting to not have him on. You've got the Holocaust Museum that is informing him, hey, we heard you, now come hear us. Following that, his personal trainer of 15 years, Harley Pasternak, who happens to be Jewish, officially cut ties with Kanye that same day. He revealed that he had a 5-hour-long conversation with Kanye, and Pasternak felt that Kanye was on the verge of meltdown, and said, quote, "I will not speak with him again until he issues a formal apology. If people continue to give him a platform to discuss hateful, anti-Semitic rhetoric, they're complicit. So I applaud Facebook and Twitter," end quote. He also felt the outrage behind the White Lives Matter shirt was a millionfold more vocal than the tweet that implied that he was going to wipe out a race of people. So he's on this ban from Twitter and Instagram briefly. He's got podcasts not wanting him. He's got the Vice things coming out. He's got his personal trainer quitting. And then on the 12th, Candace Owens tweets out a letter that Kanye had received from JP Morgan Chase Bank. Earlier today, I learned that Kanye West was officially kicked out of JP Morgan Chase Bank. I was told there was no official reason given, but they sent this letter as well to confirm that he has until late November to find another place for the Yeezy empire to bank. This is the letter itself, which does say that he has until November 21st. And, you know, it's very much a formal letter informing him that the bank is ending ties. People receive those all the time. You can receive them for a number of reasons. So Candace Owens decided to tweet that out. Yeah. Now, on that same day, Van Lathan, the wonderful TMZ guy that had gotten on Kanye's ass before in 2018, did a podcast. And in this podcast, he actually talked about that moment with Kanye. I do have the full video, his Once Again podcast. And then, let's see, I think I do have a shorter version. Hold on, let me find it. Because I have everything. Sorry about that, guys. Or I can freeze up all my stuff. That's cool too. Of course, I freeze everything up. Oh, here we go. Hey. Full podcast will be available in the drive that I have, however, space for right now, we
What's good?
will.
It's Aisha Sky here from DX Daily Podcast, and we all remember the 2018 moment where Kanye West declared that 400 years of slavery was a choice. This was during his notorious interview with TMZ Live, and now former host of TMZ, Van Lathan, is reflecting back on that moment in an interview with Vlad TV.
So that night he calls and he asks, you know, do you want to, like, look, come out here and talk? I didn't feel like it was good for me to go because I felt like I would have felt corny being in the picture with him the next day, which, by the way, had I had to do over again, I probably would have gone, because what I didn't want to look like was that I was in any way capitulating to his celebrity, which if it was now, I definitely would have gone, just because the engagement and the sharing of information is more important than what it's going to look like for me. What it's going to look like for me and my celebrity, or whomever I am or whomever I purport to be, is less important than actually engaging one of your brothers in a discussion that can be mutually beneficial, not just to you and him, but to the community and the society as a whole.
One thing we may not have known about this moment was that Kanye West actually asked the entire newsroom how they felt about that comment. And while speaking with Vlad TV, Van revealed that that part was not shown when the original footage was aired on TMZ.
You hear about slavery for 400 years. For 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all? Do you feel that I'm feeling, do you feel that I'm being free and I'm thinking free?
I actually don't think you're thinking anything. I think what you're doing right now is actually the absence of thought. And the reason why I feel like that is because, Kanye, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to believe whatever you want. But there is fact and real world, real life.
We watched that earlier. But anyway, yeah. Van Lathan does have a lot to say on it. I mean, it's entirely possible. After all, he has said some very not savory things about a lot of different people. So October 13th, the Holocaust Museum tweets out something else to Kanye. No, stop doing that. Oh my God. I don't need to see my stuff. So, October 13th, they tweeted out, "Yay, since we invited you to visit us at Holocaust Museum LA, we have received a tremendous amount of social media messages and comments, some filled with hate, threats, and vitriol. Others were saddled with hurt and yearned for further discourse." Ye has yet to respond or anything with the Holocaust Museum. So, hey, Logan. So that's unfortunately that when it comes to the Holocaust Museum. But so October 3rd, Ye did something else that is highly questionable. He attended Candace Owens' film premiere. Now, the film question that she premiered was her Black Lives Matter film. It was all about George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement, and it was full of truths. Like, not even half truths, it was just filled with no truths. It helped to perpetuate the notion that George Floyd died of an overdose, even though there are multiple autopsies confirming that he died of murder. He was murdered by the police. Like, and Candace Owens, being the far-right lunatic that she is, she doesn't care. She is going to spread the hurtful and hateful things that she does. At this film premiere were Ray J, you know, Kim's ex from the porn, yeah, that one. and Kid Rock was in attendance, and Kid Rock is unsavory in and of himself just because, like, y'all remember the Osmosis Jones album? Y'all remember what he said on the Osmosis Jones album? No one should hang out with Kid Rock. Ever. Ever. Don't fuck with Kid Rock. He's a horrible person. So, yeah. That's what happened on October 13th. And then, yeah, October 14th, an article in the AP comes out on the whole Kanye, JP Morgan Chase Bank thing. And that, I have notes. So, JP Morgan Chase Bank. So, the letter that Candace Owens had tweeted out about JP Morgan Chase Bank and Kanye's business relationship, Owens claimed that JP Morgan did not disclose the reason for severing ties. JP Morgan Chase informed everyone that the letter was in fact sent to Kanye West on September 20th, and the decision came about after Kanye publicly said that he was going to cut off ties with the bank. Kanye West said this in his interview with Bloomberg back in September, the one where he said that he didn't need any corporations. The one that he gave when right before he cut off ties with Gap, right before Adidas, right before he showed the porn to the Adidas person. Like, this has been in the works since September. JP Morgan said that they were giving him 60 days from the date of the letter to find a new banking relationship, which tracks since it was sent September 20th. It's just one of those things where, once again, Candace Owens didn't give the whole truth. She gave a partial truth and is doing it to make Kanye seem like the victim in the situation, I guess. But part of the reason why they did that is because Kanye West also criticized them for not giving him access to Jamie Dimon, the bank's CEO and chairman. He said that, like, he's supposed to have access to him, which that's just not how it works in the business world. Like, you don't just magically get access to someone just because of your status. Like, sorry, yay. Oh, hey, J Choi. So, we've made it to October 14th. It is almost 2 a.m. We're about 3 hours into this. I will do a part 2. I will probably do part 2 tomorrow night, just so that way it's consistent, because we do still have October 16th up until yesterday. Yeah, because the timeline just keeps building. So, things that you'll have to look forward to. Kanye's Drink Champs episode that got pulled like almost immediately after it came out. Kanye giving the White Lives Matter shirts to Skid Row. Kanye bought Parler. Everyone cut ties with him like all at once. Like, it's in such a huge downfall all in one go. I'm going to butt heads with the PPP stream. I'm sure they'll understand, though. Like, I have so much more to go. I don't want to be here for 6 hours. But it's okay. I'm sure the guys will understand. So, thank you for making it this far with me. There's still a lot left. Like, this has been a lot. This has been a fucking lot. And I appreciate every single one of you that has been here. And it's the trolls that came in earlier. Fuck you guys. That's not cool. So, yeah. Love you guys. As always, in the description, there are other members of the Stream Pervs family, the people that I share the StreamYard with. There's links to the Ukraine charities because it is winter. Winter is going to be harsh. They're still in the midst of war. Yeah. Yes, it is no surprise that covering gay is a chore. It is a chore. It's a massive chore. Also makes me glad that I'm not part of a cult. So there's that. So good night, guys. Love you lots. Have a good one. Take your meds. My God, take your fucking meds. Later, guys.